Do not start an AI company with this mindset, okay? This mindset is really essentially the mindset of being broke, the mindset of thinking that you don't have money, therefore you can't afford to grow your business, okay? Being broke only teaches you how to be broke. If you want to become wealthy, learn to make decisions from a place of leverage and opportunity cost, not from a place of what can you afford with the money that you have. Let me explain. I got on a call today with a guy who's working at his family business in the steel industry, making around 50K a year, which is a little under 5K per month. And he launched an AI offer, booked 2 sales calls, and closed both of them. 100% closing rate. Okay, $10,000 worth of deals, 5K up front. So each paid 2.5K, 2.5K. Because they weren't necessarily willing to budge at a higher upfront setup. Okay. Now, don't worry about this. I'm going to come back to this point that I made later on. But the reason why this guy joined our community was because, he essentially had seen some of my content on YouTube and realized that I'm the only person who's talking about business building in this AI space. Well, everyone is just stuck talking about building AI automations. No one is actually talking about how do you actually start and scale and grow these businesses. Okay. And I want to explain something. This guy has found something that works. Okay. Proven. The reason why he had an easier time, I believe, is because he essentially sold something that was based on the solutions that he needed in his family business. Okay? So he essentially leveraged AI systems to solve what is inefficient in his current business. Okay? And then he took it and went after other contractors through cold outreach, through cold email, scraping leads and cold calling leads, and got these 2 appointments. Both of those appointments closed. Okay. If you ever are struggling to figure out what AI solution you should sell, I would rather you focus on solving your own problems with AI. That will be the best use case that you can have. Okay. So this allowed him to have 100% close rate. Right now, he came to us because he's like, okay, now that I kind of know what people want, how do I go from making 10K from 2 sales calls to literally making $100,000 a month, right? And this is the conversation that I want to have with you guys. If you're currently here, you've made your first 5K, you've made your first 10K a month, you maybe may even make 30K per month, but you're like, oh, but I want to go to 100K per month, but you know what? I'm going to keep doing what? I'm going to do cold outreach. I'm going to do some cold DMs. I'm going to cold call people because it's affordable. And I don't have to spend any money because I don't have any money, right? You're like, oh, but I'm broke. I've maxed out my credit cards. I'm, maybe living at my parents'. I can't afford to go homeless. That is the worst mindset you can have. Let me explain. The reason why venture capitalists and a lot of investors in business never ever look at how much money they have to make business decision and investment decision is because they understand one thing. They understand that the game is all about compounding. Okay? It is all about compounding. It is not about what can you do. It is about finding a business at the core. I'll show you guys. This is one of the most important lessons that you guys will ever have. A business at its core is a value creation machine. A business is not a toy. It's not something you do because you're passionate about it, right? For sure, if you end up making millions of dollars and you're rich and you live in a penthouse and you drive a Porsche to go get your bagel, then you can go online on YouTube and be like, oh, I started an AI business and I'm so passionate about it. You can say that because you're already rich. But when you're starting out, it is not about passion. It is about how can I go and create value for a specific group of people, okay? And have these people exchange money in exchange of my services. That is all a business is. It's can you do something for someone, solve their problems with solutions, okay? And have them exchange money with you. And do it at a profit. Can you do it at with amazing profit margins? This is the skill of business. Okay? That's lesson number 1. Technically, this guy has figured it out. He's figured out a way to go find people who have a pain. I'm not going to tell you guys what problem he's solving, because that's up to you guys to solve your own problems, to figure out that out. But he's figured out a way to get people to give him $5,000 to integrate an AI solution, an AI system that truly will cost 1K to fulfill. Okay? So he's making great margins, over, let's say, 75% gross margins, right? Now, the number one thing that I wanted him to understand is that once he has figured this out, he should do everything he can to take all the money he made from these first two clients and go straight to ads. For the love of God, guys, when you guys make your first $5, $10, $20, $30,000, do not go into saving mode and think that your job is to be profitable. Your job, and I wish someone would have told me this, right? When I was starting out with client acquisition.io, I hit it big. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I hit it big, so big that it almost became unbelievable, right? I was making $1 million a quarter in my first full year of incorporating the business. In every 90 days. Imagine going from making $30K a year to making $1 million every 90 days. It is bonkers, and all organically. The lesson I would have loved to get when I was here, I'm giving it to you guys from the place of even making your first 10K per month, is the following. Take all the money you're making and go find a leveraged acquisition channel. Something where you can trade money for an outcome. Stop trading your time for money. This is why the broke mindset is so... We've been trained and bred to think that our time is less valuable than money. And it is so sad. Okay? When I first made my first 4K from a client, when I made my first 10K, 30K per month, I was still the one doing outreach myself. It was so sad. It is so sad that I was willing to sacrifice my life instead of exchanging digits on a screen, like pixels on a screen. I was willing to keep the pixels on my screen, then keep the time to myself. It is the saddest thing that you need to... Please, guys, learn from my mistake. If I would have learned this lesson around focusing on leverage, I probably would have made $50 to $100 million in the last 3 years instead of just making 15 million. Okay? Let me explain why. Because if this guy can take the 5K that he made and did something like this, okay? So this is some of our clients, right? Every single AI offer that we're launching it on paid ads. Why? Because we want to find for every single founder, for every single company that we're launching, is can we be able to trade money for the most desired outcome, which is sales calls on the calendar, right? I'll show you guys this. I created this tab for all our clients and all the kind of like companies that we're scaling. And I created this tab because I want to wake up to all the sales calls being booked from all our clients' offers and companies, okay? And do you know how we get all these sales calls? We just go on Meta. We just have data on what works. And we're like, hey, Meta, please take our money. Okay, I'll show you guys this. So we go to Facebook ad and we're like, hey, Facebook, we're willing to give you $100 a day or $50 a day. It doesn't really matter. Please give us sales calls. Okay? And to the degree that we can validate an affordable cost per lead, cost per booked call, we can then flood our clients' calendars with sales calls with people who actually want to do business with them. This guy booked 2 sales calls to make $10,000 in revenue and $5K upfront. What if we could spend $50 per booked call for every sales call that we booked him? Instead of having to trade time for money, what if we actually provided him with the ability to book sales calls on demand? It would change his life. Let me explain why. Because if you think about it, if the cost per booked call ends up, let's say we do this as an example. If he's like this client who's in, I'm not going to mention the niche, right? Although he hasn't closed the deal, TBD, right? But in this case, this client has validated the niche, has validated that they want the solution, they've given him money. If we were able to find a cost per booked call that is $66, let's say, okay? $66, let's say every 10 sales calls that they jump on, they close one deal. That would make that cost to CAC, cost to acquire a client, is around, let's say, $650, right? Or let's just do it better. Let's just say it's $1,000. If CAC is $1,000, that means that for every $1,000 that he's gonna spend on acquisition, that he's gonna make, in this case, he's selling it for 5K, but to be honest, he has room to increase it to a minimum of 7.5K, right? Let's say each deal, LTV, is 7.5K, which by the way, this is still cheap. We have clients selling these for 10, 15K, right? That means that for every 1K that he spends, he should be able to get another human exchanging 7.5K with him, okay? Look at what happens when you have 1K in CAC and let's say 1K to fulfill. Your cost to deliver is 1K. Your cost to acquire one client is 1K too. So $2,000 altogether. If you were to reinvest for every single client you get, the cost to acquire a client and the cost to fulfill, let's say you're safe and you want to always keep enough money to be able to fulfill, even if they don't pay a lot of money up front. Let's go through what I call kind of like a compounding reinvestment table, okay? So you get one client, they're worth 7.5K, you make 5.5K of profit. That means that with the 5.5K, if you're maintaining, saving $2,000 to cover CAC and to cover what? The cost to fulfill, you should be able to reinvest your profit and go acquire 2 new clients. When you acquire 2 new clients, you now make $11,000 profit, which you could do what? Reinvest into acquiring more clients. If nothing changes, if operation is good, your systems don't break, you don't get sick. If everything is perfect, you can take that on the second cycle of reinvestment, you can take $11,000, reinvest it and acquire what? 5 new clients on the third reinvestment cycle. That means that you take the first income you made, profit you made from the first client, you invest, that acquires you 2 new clients. You take that same, you go through the second cycle, you reinvest, it should acquire 27.5K worth of net profit. This is removing cost to acquire clients and cost to fulfill. Let's say you're aggressive and you're like, hey, I want to change my life. I don't just want to make 10, 20K a month profit. I want to go past 100K a month. I want to go past $1 million a month. And you just keep being aggressive and you reinvest all your profit into new clients. That means you were able to acquire 13 new clients by the end of the third cycle, which means that you would make 100K per month and 71K in profit. You're 4 cycles of reinvestment away from being a 7-figure entrepreneur. Does that make sense? This is the thing that most people don't understand, how easy it is to win. But the problem with being able to even have this ability to compound capital stems from you being able to do what? To have a predictable machine that gets you leads and clients on a predictable basis. That is why the number one thing we're focused on with all of our clients is not, oh, how good are you at building systems? Oh, how good are you at automating workflows? The number one thing we look at them is like, hey, are you open to us making sure that we pick the right market for you? A market that we can acquire predictably, generate attention from them, get them on sales calls. Because if we can do that, we can make you richer than you've ever dreamed of. Okay? Because now, once we can get the market on sales calls, it is just you literally have to say, okay, how much money do you want to make? Okay, I want to get to $250,000 a month. Okay, cool. How many reinvestment cycles do we need to go through to get you there? Right? And by the way, this is if you're safe and you're always keeping enough money to acquire the next client and enough money to fulfill, even if they don't pay you anything. But let's look at the client-funded fulfillment, meaning we don't save any money from the profit we make. Okay, so check this out. Revenue, you make 7.5K. You literally fulfill for them. You take 1,000 from the 7.5K you made and you reinvest everything. That means that you have now 6.5K left of profit. If you reinvest it, you're able to go acquire 6 new clients since CAC is 1K. Of course, this is an example, right? This is exaggeration. It's not the perfect world. It will vary, right? It will be up, it will be down. But I just want to show you guys in the perfect world, every 6.5K you make, you can acquire 6 clients. With 6 new clients, you end up netting $39,000 profit. If you reinvest all of this, you can go acquire 42 new clients, right? And on and on and on and on. Of course, this is not in the real world. The real world means there's like bottlenecks here, bottlenecks that, right? But I wanted to show you guys the value of why you guys are building companies. You guys are not building companies to look cute on Instagram. You guys are here to become capital allocators. You need to learn to trade money for growth, not to be a slave to your own business. This is why I spent so much time listening to a bunch of investors and a bunch of, venture capitalists, because they don't care about money. They're just looking, I'll show you guys an example, right? If you look at a company like Founders Fund, right, which is the venture firm where, I forgot his name, Peter Thiel is a partner, is a founding member of this venture. They deployed, they helped Anduril, which is, they're taking care of the building army solutions and systems, AI and defense stuff, right? Which is an amazing industry. They invested over $1 billion. So Anduril needed to raise for this Series G round. Founders Fund invested just on their own $1 billion. Why would someone put $1 billion into one company? It's because they know that the compounding potential in Anduril is ridiculously high. Okay? It's when you realize what business is, it's who can put all of the chips on the table over and over again, and who can find the most profitable compounding vehicle. Okay? My ability the reason why I'm able to make more money than you is because I'm just better at picking vehicles that compounds my money and my attention faster. I don't have to work more hours than you. Today's Sunday, it's almost 9 p.m. So I'm technically working more hours than you. But you have to understand that it's because I know that this one video will compound and make me more money than I'll know what to do with. And this is the thing that I would like for you to understand. Pick a business where you find a market that's willing to give you money. Okay? Actually, let me summarize this, because I think this is the stuff that I'm personally passionate about when it comes to business. I don't really care about AI. I just care about business, to be honest, right? Step number 1, pick a market. Step number 2, solve their pain. Get them to do what? Get them to give you money. Make sure that along the way, you're profitable. As soon as you validated this, make sure you create predictability in your business. What does predictability look like? Make sure you can acquire clients. Make sure you can deliver predictably. Can you acquire them without you having to dance on TikTok or have a predictable machine that doesn't rely on you? Which is why we're building paid acquisition. It's just a capital investment machine. Delivery, make sure your backend works. As soon as you figure this out, for the love of God, do not stop until you have cleared your first $5 to $10 million. And the only way this is possible is if you don't try to hoard the money you initially make. The only thing money is for is to create more predictability on acquisition, more predictability on delivery, okay? Get your first 5 to 10 mil, and then do what? Jump into vehicles that can then retain dollars. Because I promise you, the business that makes you money fast is probably not going to be the business that retains net dollar retention. It's one of the most important metric in business. It's like people who paid you last year, did you keep them paying you this year? Okay. You then want to take the fact that you're kind of like cash rich, then go into build apps, build software, right? Acquire businesses, acquire boring businesses that have crazy retention, where people keep buying from them over and over again, right? But right now, your number one goal is get rich fast. Get rich fast. Because like I said in this tweet here, the problem is, I'm afraid that because this client or this customer, if he's seeing this video, he got clients without necessarily putting so much work, just his time and a bit of cold outreach. I'm afraid that he's going to make 5 to 10K a month, and then he's going to decide to coast and flex on all his peers because they're all broke. And he's going to keep trying to do cold outreach, trading his time, maybe finding other people to trade time. And unfortunately, what's going to happen is the opportunity to make easy money with AI will not be around anymore. Okay? And by the time that you want to go aggressive and use ads to acquire customers, everybody will have bombarded the market with ads, and everybody will have been numb to your AI offer. This is why, if you ever want to work with us, our number one job is not to do what you like. Our number one job is to create predictability and to make sure that we can turn invested time and attention into capital, as much margins as we can, and then reinvest everything into doing what? Acquiring market share. Because by the time competition goes crazy in AI, who cares? You'll have acquired all the customers that there is in your niche. And you can sell them anything else. But if you are doing 50 outreach a day, 50 cold calls a day, how many customers do you expect to get? It's going to take you 5 years to even make 20K a month. And by the time you make the 20K a month, making an extra 2K per month is harder than just going and getting a job, an extra job on the side. This is the thing that most people are not telling you. You have a short timeline to kill it. And I hope that just because you've told yourself that you don't have money, that it doesn't unfortunately guide your decision making in your business. Please, you're not broke. You just don't have access to money. You solve access to money problem and you can change your life. Shit, if you want, maybe I have my Amex, use my Amex, right? But make me an offer. Ask me to lend you money. Ask anyone around you who has money to lend you money, right? This is the number one lesson I didn't learn earlier on, is I got stuck too long doing things that are just time. It required more time. I had to wait to get rich. And today, we don't do none of that. Every single client, in 30 days, can we build their offer acquisition and have lead flow, sales calls, flooding their calendars? And then let's deal with the hard things, which is like, okay, let's close deals. Oh, we're having objection. Okay, cool, let's fix that. Because as soon as we fix it and we find a good close rate and then we find a good return on investment, take everything, reinvest everything until we make 100K per month, 500K per month, right? But the game here is like, who's gonna go from 0 to 100 as fast as possible? The game of AI, the only thing that matters is speed. And unfortunately, everybody's making it seem as if you guys are gonna keep making money forever. You're not. You're not. I promise you. Maybe even a month from now, this opportunity will be worse than it is today. A year from now, to be honest, humans might not even be selling AI services. Right? AI is going to be doing the AI services. Why? How long do you guys think they've already automated coding? Do you really think that building an automation on GHL won't be automated? Like, really? I'm gonna leave it on here. I don't want to make this video too long, but guys, I do care about this, and I want to show you guys that, like, your goals, you just find a niche, pick an offer, be profitable, reinvest everything in a leverage acquisition channel. If you need help doing this, we do this for a living. Let us do it for you. Love you, but change your life. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to everyone that you love to change your life. Life becomes so amazing when you win. When you win, trust me, it's not just about you winning. It's the feeling of winning and being in a position where you can take care of everyone that you love. It is one of the most magnificent, and I wish it on every single entrepreneur to experience it. But I know that your mindset and your fear and your lack of courage and your limiting beliefs around money is going to kill you. It's going to keep you stuck. And entrepreneurs are some of the most enslaved people ever, because they never learn about leverage capital. Stop being a slave. Love you guys. Bye-bye.